Okay, so let's talk about multiplicative inverses. All right, solve the equation, check your solution and graph. So I have W is divided by -3. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to say, no. All right, W is divided by -3. What is the multiplicative inverse of being divided by -3? Multiplying by -3/1. I am going to rewrite this. Let's rewrite this. W over -3 is also written -1/3 W. You guys seen it written like this before? No? You guys have never seen it written like this before. Here's this.
Yeah. Oh no, it's
Please stop. Okay. For instance, if I had, isn't this the same thing as that? Isn't this right here the same thing as this? Right? Which equals, so if I write it like this, then it's easier to use the multiplicative inverse. So if I was going to multiply by the multiplicative inverse, I would multiply by the multiplicative inverse of 1/3 is 3/1. So now that I have that, I can go ahead and cancel, and my negatives also cancel out, right? Because the negative times a negative is a constant. Over here, my negatives also cancel out. And what am I left with? I've got W is equal to 21. To graph that, I would put a 0 here, 21 here, equal to. All right, so let's go back and look over our steps. Draw lines down the inequality sign. I have a really bad habit of not doing that. So there's our line. You guys like it with the line? Isolate the variable using reciprocal. So I isolated the variable by multiplying both sides by 3/1 or -3/1. Check our solution. We did not check our solution yet. Let's check our solution. Okay, so I am going to actually write this in red. Right? So, if in fact W is equal to 21, and we substitute it back in, we should get the same answer. So, substitute in 21, and you should know that 21 over -3 is. So check. And then we graph our solution. All right, let's look at this one. Translate, then solve the inequality. Check your solution and graph. So I'm going to go ahead and read through my sentence and try and find my variable. -121 is less than the product of 11 and a number. There it is, right there. I also, as I was reading, said, you know what? There is a whole lot. There is a lot of words in there. Let's break this down a little bit. -121. I'm just going to write -121. All right, is less than, okay, less than, that's a less than symbol. So declare that. The product, ooh, that's an important word right there. What does the product mean? Multiplication of 11 and a number. Here's 11. Now I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to say, All right, what's happening to a number? We have a number and 11. All right, a number and 11. What's happening to a number and 11? It's the product. The product of a number and 11 is multiplying. All right, less than the product. So something is less than this. So I'm going to put that less than sign. There's something that's less than this. What's less than this? Negative 121. All right, so let's draw a line down to do the exact same steps now. Move this. This down here. And draw my line. Isolate the variable using the reciprocal. Okay, the reciprocal of 11 is 1 over 11. When I do that, my 11's cancel, and I'm left with n is actually greater than negative 121 over, negative 121 times 1 over 11. So I've got negative 121. I'm going to rewrite that to be negative 11 times 11. And we're multiplying that by 1 over 11. Everybody agree? Negative 11 times 11 is negative 121. Go ahead and cancel my 11. And I'm left with negative 11 is less than n. Go ahead and rewrite that. N is greater than negative 11. See, stop there and graph it. If this is 0, and this is negative 11, n is going to be greater than negative 11, so that's the open circle. Greater than means we go up and out. Any questions? Yes.
Can't we subtract 11?
Can't subtract it because it's being multiplied. So we need to do the inverse, right? So we took the inverse of it and multiplied by the inverse. Alright, let's move on to this one. So I need you guys to get your whiteboards out, please. And I want you to do the first two steps. Alright, so let's do this together. So I have 3/4 x on this side. Now, remember what I was saying before, isn't that the same as this? Okay? We're not going to use it like that. It's the same thing. Okay. So 3/4 x. So I'm going to draw myself a line. That was my first step. Isolate the variable. Can you see?
Yeah.
Isolate the variable using the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3/4 is 4/3. So these cancel, and I'm left with x is greater than or equal to, okay, I've got to simplify this. So, let's do this one. Let's just move this down. All of this down. All right, so I've got negative 9. I'm going to rewrite negative 9 to negative 3 times 3 over 1. Multiplied by 4/3. When I do that, I can cancel the 3. And I'm left with x is greater than or equal to negative 12. And I know most of you can go ahead and say 9 times 4 is 36. 36 divided by 3 is negative 12. But I'm trying to do this with the easier ones that you know, so the harder ones will be easier as well.
Oh, negative 3/4 when we're talking about.
No.
But
Because if I multiply by 3/4,
I mean, like, no, I mean, subtract these.
You can't subtract, these are being multiplied.
Oh.
So we're doing the inverse, okay? If it was being added, you could subtract to get rid of it. But since it's multiplied, you've either got it. The other way we could do this would be to divide by 3/4. Well, that just takes a lot of time. So instead of dividing by 3/4, we're going to multiply by 4/3, which I can show you. There's a proof for this, that this is actually the same thing as this. Do you want to see it? Well,
No.
no, are you sure?
Yeah.
Let's move this guy down here. And I've got -12. It's including -12. And x is greater than -12, so it's going to be in that direction right there. All right, let's move on. Actually, why don't you guys get your notes out and copy down. Okay, so why don't you guys write this one on your whiteboard? Try this one. Don't put it on the number line yet. Just try and write out the equation or inequality. Okay, so most of you have it. 84 equals the product of a number and 3. So we have 84 equals the product, multiplication, of a number and 3. So the product of a number and 3 equals 84. Try and challenge yourself to solve this using the multiplicative inverse and factoring. So go ahead and try that now. Okay, so some of you are confused. So the multiplicative inverse of 3 is 1/3. So let's take this. Multiply by 1/3. Multiply by 1/3, right? That's what I was asking for. So if I do that, these cancel, and I'm left with n. And this is what I meant by factoring. N is equal to 84. How can I break up 84? Well, I know that's an even number.
9.
2 goes into 84 how many times? 42. But instead of writing 42, let's break up 42. How would I break up 42? 7 times 6. Let's break up 6.
3 times 2.
That's too much.
But watch what happens.
Oh, I just have to,
3 cancel.
oh.
So too much?
No,
3 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 7 is 28. Okay?
Yeah.
You go ahead and graph that. This is 0, and this is 28. We're not talking about an inequality. We're talking about an equality. So it's just n equals 28. Okay, go ahead and write that down in your notes. Let's talk about the. Go ahead. All right, so everybody agrees 10 is less than 100.
Yeah.
If I multiply 10 times 5 and 100 times 5, I can do that because I can multiply to both sides, correct?
Yeah.
If I give it to that person, I got to give it to that person too. 10 times 5 is 50. 100 times 5 is 500. Is 50 less than 500? Yes. Okay. The same goes with division. 10 is less than 100. If I divide both sides of my equation by 5, 10 divided by 5 is 2. 100 divided by 5 is 20. Is 2 less than 20?
Yes.
Yes. But we have a problem when we want to multiply each side by a negative. If I multiply 10 times -5, I get is negative 50. If I multiply 100 times negative 5, I get negative 500. Is negative 50 less than negative 500?
No.
No, it's bigger, correct?
Yes.
So this sign right here needs to be switched. Negative 50 is larger than negative 500. Same thing goes with this. 10 divided by negative 5 is negative 2. 100 divided by negative 5 is negative 20. Is negative 2 less than negative 20?
No.
No, negative 2 is larger than negative 20. So I'm going to go ahead and have to switch that sign. So it's kind of like on a number line. If you're over here on this side of the number line, and you decide that you want to switch over to the other side, aren't you? And you're going past that 0, so instead of being greater than, it needs to flip over. If we're over here, now we're talking less than, right? You kind of see what I'm saying? If I'm on this side and I want to switch over here, then I need to flip my sign, right? Now being over here. See how that works? Okay. Most of you are looking at me like, this is completely review. Let's just stop. All right. So, pencils down. I'm going to sit in my seat so that I remember to stay out of the way. All right, so draw a line down the inequality sign. I've got negative 15 times A. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to multiply by negative 1 over 15. I'm going to change my color. Okay, multiply by negative 1 over 15. When I do that, the negatives cancel. Okay, what did I forget to do? I just went on the other side of the inequality sign. I need to change the sign, right? So I need to change it to less than. Okay, so 15 goes away, 15 goes away. The only thing left on this side is A. I need to mess with this stuff a little bit though, right here. So I'm going to break it down. I know my negative and my negative cancel out. But 1 over 15, how can I break up 1 over 15? It's 3 times 5. 45 is actually 9 times 5, or 5 times 9, or 5 times 3 times 3. See how that works out? The 3 gets canceled, the 5 gets canceled, and I'm left with 3. And I'm going to switch this around. A is greater than 3. There's 3 on the number line. Greater than, and then correct. So go ahead and copy this one down into your notes.